How's it going? I thought today what I'd like to do is do a little multi-part series on flat picking and alternating bass. So I think it might take me a little while to get through all of these potential topics, the little intricacies if I take my time. So what I thought I'd cover today would be typical kind of major type patterns and 1-4-5. And what I mean by that is the first chord, the fourth chord, and the fifth chord in the key, which are typical primary chords that make up a simple song. A lot of country stuff is going to use 1-4-5. And I thought what would be good is to learn 1-4-5 in a few keys. So that's part of the lesson is just learn the open keys and learn the 1-4-5. So I'll just go through that quickly. So start off in the key of E, and I'm using all open keys here because they really sort of facilitate the sound. So in the key of E, 1, E, A4, B7, 5. I'm going to make the 5 chord a dominant 7th chord just because learn some extra shapes. So 1, A, E, 4, A, 5, B7. Key of G, 1 G, 4 C, 5 D7. Key of C, 1 C, 4 F, 5 G7. Key of D, 1 D, 4 G, 5 A7. What have I missed off? I've done A, 1 A, 4 D, 5 E7. I think that's 5 keys. So those are kind of our most open keys. Obviously C's got the F in it, which I'm playing like this because sometimes it's handy to use the thumb because you're free to lift that index finger on and off the notes, which you couldn't do so easily with the bar chord. So right, so that's the first thing. So I'm going to use the chord progression of I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash. It's an interesting chord progression, or rather the arrangement's interesting because he gives us the 1-4-5 chords in a series of keys and modulates from verse to verse. So it's a great tune to learn if you want to get your basic chords down. So it starts with a vamp, like a 4-bar vamp. Actually, just to say something about here, with country tunes, like I Walk the Line, there is 2 ways you can count it. You can do the slow count or the fast count. The slow count is going to be something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm putting the chord chops on the ands. You could also count it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've gone for the slow count because it's a little, I'm not sure why, I just lean towards it. However, there's no strong snare drum in the tune, and normally you get the snare drum on the 2 and the 4, so I felt it would be simplest just to do it as a slow count. So if I do any notation, that's how I'm going to notate it, as quavers. Alright, so you've got 4 bars of E, which is the 1. That's the vamp. And then the verse starts with 1 bar B, E bar. Does that twice. It goes to A, E4, 1, B5, E1, and that's an 8-bar section. So it's B 5, 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. So and then when he wants to go into a new key, he just, that's establishes a new 1 chord. So it would be 1 A. So one thing, I'll just talk about the pattern. I'm doing this bass note chord. So it varies from chord to chord. So let's say on E, I'm typically going to play the root note, then the top of the chord, then I'm going to play the 5th, which is on the A string, top of the chord, like that. If I play the A, I'm going to play the root on the 5th string, then the chord, and then the 5th below on the E string. So generally I'm going to try and play the lowest notes that I can. And when I'm playing the B, it's something similar. I'm going to move the middle finger. Now you can go for more complicated patterns. So I could go something like root on the 5th string, 5th on the 6th string, root on the 5th string, and 3rd on the 4th string, something like this. But it's good just to get the basics down. So you've got to know where the root and the 5th is for each chord. And the other thing is that I'm using all downstrokes, and there's a reason for that. Even at quite a clip, I'll use all downstrokes because I might want to do the double. As we're thinking about it, these would be 16th notes. So that's most easily done if I do a down up, down down up. Also, you know, the downstroke, even if I'm not playing the 16th notes, this gives a nice accent to the chord. Okay, so the other thing is I'm not putting in any of these bass runs yet. Something like the intro. They're a lot of fun, but I'll cover them another time. So we're pretty much just concerned with that basic feel. So there's 3 elements here. One is this basic root, chord, 5th chord type pattern. 1, 2, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you just got to learn how to play that pattern for each chord, basically. And the other thing is just learning a sense of the 1, 4 and 5 chords. So just how how varied we can get by changing the durations that we're on each chord. So we've done E. Now let's do A. So the A starts with a 4-bar vamp on A. That's the new 1 chord, right? E 7 5 A. E7 5 A1 D A E7 5 A. So here we go to D, and that's got a root on the 4th string. So we need the root on the 4th string and the 5th on the 5th string. So we've got what I call root 4 chords, root 5 chords, and root 6 chords. So the root 4 chords is the D, for instance. The root 5 chord is the A, the C. The root 6 chords are the E and the G. B7 is a root 5 chord. So you've just got to know where the roots are. And typically you're going to play the root of the chord on the 1st beat. And then the 5th is going to be on the 3rd beat. But you can switch that round, you know. But it's just good to have a basic pattern. So this is pretty solid. Okay, and then he goes to the key of D. So he establishes a new key. A7 5 D1 A7 5 D1, G4, D5, sorry, 1, A7-5, D1. So it's not so easy talking and playing at the same time. So here we've got the G. Now the difference here with the G is that you have to skip to the 4th string to get the 5th. You could also incorporate the 3rd in. It's a bit muddy, so I might, maybe if I was doing like a 3 bass note pattern, I might incorporate it like that, but mainly we want the 5. Okay, so those are the 3 keys I think he uses in the tune. At one point I should make in the tune, the only 7th chord I hear him using is the B7, probably because it's the only way to play it as an open chord. So the 7th chords are optional, but I thought it's good to learn, you know, learn what they are and learn where they're often used, which is on the 5 chord. So they're basic major chords, but they've got that flat 7th degree, and they resolve more strongly to the tonic if you know your functional harmony. Alright, now we do the key of C. So that is going to start off with a. So to say something like this. This is one of those chords where you've got to move your ring finger. You've got to move a finger in order to get the notes. I mean, you could hold your chord down like this, but it might, you know, that's an extra finger on the G, sort of refingering it. Sometimes it's nice to play that. You've got that thick 4th interval in the bass, but unfortunately, it doesn't leave your pinky free to do anything else, you know. I haven't got it. So sometimes it's nice to leave the pinky free, just in order to twiddle around a little bit. When you're doing the C7, you gotta do it. All right, so key of C. So we start off 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. G7-5, C1, G7-5, C1. F4, C1, G7-5, C1. Very nice. And then finally we'll do everybody's favourite guitar key, which is G. And I say that because G has got the largest number of open chords, you know. G, A minor, C, D, and E minor. Those 5 main open chords. Of course, you do have the B minor. So you never get away scot-free, and of course the notorious F sharp diminished. There's no real easy way to play that, but nobody really plays it like this anyway, so not to worry. So key of G. 5D7, 1G. 5D7, 1G, C, 1G, C4, right? 5D7, G1. Okay, so, I mean, sometimes I was missing bass notes there. In an ideal world, that's not going to happen, but the main thing is to get that sort of train chugging along feel. Keep it nice and jolly. So there you go. I think I'm going to leave it like that today, and then in future lessons I might look at sort of what you can do with minor keys and the bass note run thing, and all the kind of little twiddles, hammer-ons. fun. Just say one more thing about learning this in a lot of keys. You basically learn to play the same thing in a few keys, and why that's nice is because sometimes you will play more chords in one key. You know, you use a borrowed chord. So if we're in the key of G, you might go to A, you know, whilst keeping the other chords of G. Damn it. Ah, wrong key. Hang on a second. I've got to think. Oh, it's gone. It's completely gone. All right. That's it. All right. Okay, cool. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you find that useful, and I'll see you next time.